Hello, what is up everyone? My name is KaitoNolan and yes, happy Easter to everyone. And we're going to have the new Mega Raid boss, which is the Mega Lopunny. So, let's get started. Let's talk about Mega Lopunny first, the typing. Mega Lopunny is a normal fighting. So, yes, what do you need? Yes, it's gonna be Psychic, Fighting, and then some Flying type. I've talked about this in my previous videos. Fighting does not resist fighting. Fighting is actually a neutral damage to each other. So normal is weak to fighting. So that's the reason why that you could use fighting as well. But here is the top counter is Mewtwo. It's a Shadow Mewtwo first, okay? So the damage 5, bulk 4, consistency 2, best moveset is Confusion Side Strike. So if you don't have a Side Strike, you're gonna have to use the Elite Charge TM for sure. In this case, I will run the Confusion, not Psycho Cut, because Mega Lopunny is weak to Psychic. So a lot of the time I tell everyone to run the Psycho Cut because I want y'all to spam the like a Charge Beam, like Ice Beams and stuff like that. But in this case, the Confusion will hit hard and does really good damage against the Mega Lopunny, so go ahead and run the Confusion as well too. So let's look at the defense. Hyper Beam, Fire Punch, neutral damage, and then yes, it's gonna resist single resist Focus Blast because Psychic resist fighting move. So yes, if you have the Shadow Mewtwo, this is gonna be the top counter. If you don't have one, which is not a problem though, let's look at this. Bam. Here's the regular Mewtwo, the damage 4, bulk 4, consistency 4, same moveset, same defense. I'm gonna make my own duo guide, but Mega Lopunny duo in neutral weather can be very difficult. Pretty much it's just a Mewtwo, the Side Strike Mewtwo and some Shadows are the only one that could duo in neutral weather. If you want to duo with fighting type, you're actually gonna need a cloudy weather, or like if you want to do it with a flying type, you're gonna need a windy weather as well too. So for the neutral weather, this is the one that you're gonna need. Basically just have the team of Mewtwo. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already have the Side Strike Mewtwo powered up by now, so if you don't, please go ahead and do it. Next up is the Shadow Metagross. The damage 3, bulk 2, consistency 4, best moveset is Zen Headbutt Psychic. So if you run as the Meteor Mash, you're gonna have to add the second charge move and then roll as a Psychic. Yes, the Shadow Metagross is actually good enough to duo in neutral weather too. So if you have a full team and try out, go ahead and do so. So let's get the look at the defense. It's the Hyper Beam, single resist Hyper Beam because the Steel resists the normal move, and then the Focus Blast and neutral damage because it's Psychic will resist fighting, but the Steel is weak to fighting, so it's ended up being a neutral damage, and it's gonna be weak to Fire Punch. So that's why I feel like Mewtwo is more consistent than in the Metagross for sure. So this is the regular Metagross. So the damage 2, bulk 2, consistency 4, best moveset is same, defense same thing. Yeah, even the regular Metagross is not gonna be able to duo in neutral weather. So I want you to know that. I think even in windy looked really tough. So it's just the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is the best. So here's the Shadow Moltres. The damage 3, bulk 2, consistency 1, best moveset is Wing Attack, Sky Attack. Let's look at the defense. It's the Hyper Beam, neutral damage, Focus Blast, Fire Punch. It's a single resistance. So Shadow Moltres can be a really good option for sure. But as I said earlier, if you want to duo Mega Lopunny like with a flying type, even with a Shadow Moltres, like you're gonna need pretty much weather. I mean, unless you have like a 6 Shadow Moltres, I'm pretty sure you don't, how many? Maybe like 3. So here's the regular Moltres. The damage 2, bulk 3, consistency 3, same moveset, same defense. So good thing about Moltres though, the flying type, it's because if you bring the Mega Pidgeot, the Mega Pidgeot will bring the flying, even like the Mega Charizard Y and stuff like that. But anyway, so the damage 3, bulk 1, consistency 2, the best moveset is the Gust Brave Bird. Everything is a neutral damage. Hyper Beam, Focus Blast, Fire Punch, they're all neutral damage against Mega Pidgeot. The Mega Pidgeot itself is not an ideal Pokemon, I will say, but if you could pair this with like a Shadow Moltres to boost the flying move, then it's a good. Go ahead. But I mean, I probably wouldn't bring any Mega for this for sure, unless we get like a Mega Mewtwo Y X one day, And here comes the Latios. The damage 2, bulk 4, consistency 3, best moveset is Zen Headbutt Psychic. Anyway, so let's talk about the defense. Hyper Beam neutral damage and the single resist Focus Blast and Fire Punch. So, like I said, he could actually duo Mega Lopunny if it's in windy. So, yeah, it's the weather boost. We're gonna need all the windies and stuff for sure. Anyway, so here's the Shadow Gardevoir. The damage 2, bulk 1, consistency 1, best moveset is Confusion Psychic. Let's look at the defense. It's a Hyper Beam, Fire Punch, neutral damage, and because of the Fairy and then the Psychic typing, it's gonna double resist Focus Blast. So it's a good option to have against Focus Blast. And then yes, this thing is gonna be good enough to duo, I think. Mega Lopunny in neutral weather too. So here's the regular, the normal Gardevoir. The damage 2, bulk 2, consistency 0, same moveset, same defense. Like I said, this thing is, unless it's a shadow, it's just not good enough. It's sad, but it's like I say, if you just want a trio or something like that, it's a good option to have for sure. And here comes my favorite fighting, Conkeldurr. So the damage 2, bulk 2, consistency 3, best moveset is Counter Dynamic Punch. And you can't duo Mega Lopunny with a fighting type unless it's cloudy. And actually the Conkeldurr actually performs way better than Shadow Machamp this time. So yeah, it looks like it's the borderline in a cloudy though. I mean, yeah, cloudy, I'm sure I could duo this. Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to try. I have to beg for cloudy weather, but yeah. It is, like I said, Mega Lopunny could be really hard in a sense that, yeah, in a neutral weather, so I can't wait. So here's the Shadow Galay. The damage 2, bulk 0, consistency 1, best moveset is Confusion Psychic. It's just like a Gardevoir. Say basically, only the difference is that it's a single resistance to Focus Blast instead of double like a Gardevoir. So if you have the Shadow Galay, go ahead. And here's the normal Galay. The damage 2, bulk 1, consistency 4, same moveset and same defense. And here's the Shadow Machamp. I know a lot of people have a Shadow Machamp, so let's talk about it. So the damage 2, bulk 0, consistency 3, best moveset is Counter Dynamic Punch. Even with the Shadow Machamp, you cannot duo Mega Lopunny in neutral weather. I really hope you guys get that. Bam. Even in a cloudy too, it looked hard because due to the too many feints. I'm pretty sure you could pull it off, you know, you mix with the dodging and here and there, but yeah, actually Shadow Machamp is not gonna be the top fighting option this time for sure. So yeah, everything defense, they're all neutral damage. So, and like I said earlier, fighting does not resist fighting. Fighting the neutral damage to each other. So here's the regular Machamp. Damage 2, bulk 0, consistency 3, same moveset, same defense. I mean, look at this portion part. It's just Machamp's gonna get wrecked this time. This is why. Bring Conkeldurr. And here comes the Lucario. The damage 2, bulk 0, consistency 1, best moveset is Counter Aura Sphere. And yes, you cannot do a Mega Lopunny in neutral weather with Lucario as well too, so get it. So let's talk about Lucario's defense here. The Lucario will be a really glassy option to have because it resists Hyper Beam because of the Steel typing, but the Focus Blast and Fire Punch is a single weakness. So, like, I run the Sims against the Fire Punch. His feints are like ridiculous. He get like almost like 50 feints. So, you know, you get the idea that yeah, Lucario hits hard, but this time I won't really recommend it. And here comes my boo-boo Alakazam. The damage 2, bulk 0, consistency for best moveset is Confusion Psychic. No, everybody has a Psychic. Okay, here's my story. I had Psychic Alakazam, and then they nerfed Psychic and brought the Future Sight in. So I TM'd my Psychic Alakazam to Future Sight, and then now they buffed it. And then like now I had to use the Elite Charge TM. It's a madness, but I love it. Here's my Zam. So the defense, Hyper Beam, Fire Punch, and the neutral damage, and then the Focus Blast is a single resistance. I know not a lot of people has a Psychic, but you know, since he's my boo-boo, I wanted to talk about it. And here comes the Espeon. The damage 2, bulk 0, consistency 4, best moveset is Confusion Psychic. So like I said, let's look at the defense. Hyper Beam, Fire Punch, neutral damage, and single resist Focus Blast, just like any other Psychic. Espeon's okay, but it's just not good enough to duo. But if you're not aiming for duo, it's perfectly fine. Just bring on bunch of psychic and fighting type, you know, have fun with that. I just can't wait to get the weather boost and do some unique stuff. And let's talk about everybody's favorite dragon, Rayquaza, okay? So the damage 2, bulk 2, consistency 3 best moveset is Air/Hurricane. Yes, aerial ace is fine as well. To me, it really does not matter. If you have a Hurricane, you want to run it, go ahead. Because, you know, it's a legacy move. You don't have to TM. But if you have an Air Slash, that's totally fine as well, too. So, the defense, Hyper Beam and neutral damage, and the Focus Blast Fire Punch is a single resistance. So, if somebody's gonna bring in like a Mega Pidgeot, and then like you have like a Shadow Moltres and stuff like that, and yeah, go ahead. In windy weather, you could actually do a Mega Lopunny with the double flying Rayquaza as well. So, yeah. It's the weather boost. Weather boost would be a big key against Mega Lopunny. So Mewtwo was here not too long ago, so we were all winning hard. And I know some of y'all have the level 50 Mewtwo, so just stick to Mewtwo. If you don't have Side Strike and you have it as a Psychic, which is actually fine as well too. If you don't have an Elite Charge TM at this point, don't sweat. Just you could run as a Psychic. But just remember that if you want to do it in neutral weather, it's pretty much just the Side Strike Mewtwo and then like some Shadow like a Metagross and then the Shadow Moltres. But who has a full team of Shadow Moltres, right? So Mega Lopunny duo could be really tough, so you know I'm gonna make my own duo, guys. So please go ahead and check it out if you're interested in doing Shortman rating. And as usual, please go ahead and check Pokebattler.com/raise. And you know, Ryan worked hard for this. I've been waiting on it. Yeah, so go ahead and then click the raid boss, weather, friendship level, moveset, and then you get to see so many more Pokemon. The more Pokemon than I talked about today. So you know, I hope you'll have fun. Like Mega Lopunny. Lopunny is really cute. I actually love Lopunny. So and also this is actually the first Mega that's gonna boost the fighting type. So it's gonna make us some of the duo challenges very easy. Like the Darkrai duo in neutral weather was something that not everybody could do because it was really hard. But now with the Mega Lopunny could boost the Lucarios and Conkeldurr, and then I believe a lot more people should be able to duo Darkrai when I come back next time. So I am very excited. So you know, hopefully this guy will help, and happy rating everybody. Bye.